Welcome back to Irons United, and we have just finished watching the game where it was written in the stars and Mr. Andy Carroll came off the bench to secure a late equaliser for West Ham against Stoke City, struggling Stoke City. So 1 each at the London Stadium. I'm joined by my dad and I'm also joined by Richard all the way over in South Africa. So I'll just throw this one to you, Richard. What was your thoughts straight away on the starting lineup?
I was a bit disappointed because to have a bench with Lanzini, Carroll, Hernandez on it, it offers so much, and I'm sure one of them could have played a bigger part in the game. For them to have come on so late was disappointing, but a part of me can understand why Moyes stuck with the side at 1-3-0, why change a winning side. So I think he kind of thought, if it works against Southampton, we'll work against Stoke, and we didn't really have a plan B. So I was disappointed, to be honest, with the starting lineup because we just looked too one-dimensional. Arnie was isolated up top. So yeah, disappointed, and I'm just glad we got a point at the end of the day because to lose against Stoke would have been disastrous.
Absolutely. I was saying we have this discussion all the time with my dad, and what was your thoughts on having Chicharito sitting on the bench? He comes on, with 50 minutes to go last week against Chelsea, 20 minutes to go against Chelsea, scores that wonderful goal. Yeah. And then this week, you can't help but be disappointed because Fernandez is playing. And then Chicharito sitting on the bench. What's your thoughts on that, Dad?
Same, really. 5 minutes, like Richard, what you were saying before we went on air. 5 minutes to try and do something. It's not a lot of time. When Carroll did come on, obviously he was brilliant. But to leave Hernandez, what chance has he got?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue I've got with that is the fact that he's such a good goal scorer. I'm repeating all the stuff that all the fans know. And do you know what? I am delighted we've got a point at least today because we could have lost that game today, and I'll tell you why, and we'll go through it why we could have lost that game in a minute. But I just want to quickly touch on the starting lineup. I can't help but feel disappointed. I've been feeling disappointed all season with most of our team selections because we've had this chance to play these exciting players together. Arnautovic, Chicharito, Lanzini. I get the Lanzini thing, I get that 100%, but anyway, we'll move on into the game. First half, Richard, West Ham had quite possibly most of the possession, up to 80% of the possession. But what was the problem in the first half?
We didn't really create enough. Obviously, Arnautovic had the chance where he smacked the ball into Butland's face, but other than that, we didn't really create enough. We were a bit too slow. Look at players like João Mario and Fernandez. When they got the ball, they were just too lethargic in possession. We didn't really trouble them. When we got wide, Masuaku got the ball, but his crosses were disappointing in the first half especially. We couldn't get over the first defender. And as much as the amount of corners that we had, they had I think maybe one corner, we had almost 10. We didn't really get into dangerous areas, and that was disappointing because, as you said, we had a lot of the ball, but Stoke probably had the better chances in the first half, and that's the disappointing thing.
And that's the point I want to pick up on, and we were watching the game and we were saying that, considering we had most possession, their chances...
Yeah, their chances were really were much better than ours, I thought, Richard. Did you?
Yeah, definitely. I think Duke had a decent chance. Hart actually did well. Hart made some decent saves in the first half. Saves you'd expect him to make, but he got down well for a number of their chances. But yeah, they did shade the chances in the first half for as much as the ball that we had. Yeah.
But if we come up against the top 4 team...
Yeah, we're in trouble.
And they take those chances you're talking about. Yeah, we have come up against them before, but if you put an opposition team in with the current West Ham, like we played tonight, and you put an Aguero in those positions, you put all the other players, my mind's gone totally blank, Obiang, whatever you call them, all those players in those positions, Salah, Mane, Firmino, they'll take those chances, and that's where, for a team that's had so much possession tonight, we could have been genuinely, and I mean that, with better finishers on the park for Stoke, they could have been a couple of goals up because, yeah, we had most possession, but we didn't have clear-cut chances. Yeah, we scored a couple of offside goals, but that's just what happens. Anyway, we move into the second half, and the first real interesting part of the second half was Paul Lambert made the first tactical decision, and he brought on probably a predictable substitution, but what a difference he made for Stoke, and that was Peter Crouch. So I'll quick before I go to you, Richard. Dad, you're a fan of Peter Crouch. What's your thoughts of him?
Well, I think he's similar. He's virtually the same as Andy Carroll, and you could see what Lambert was looking for, what we were looking for in the end as well. Someone big, get up in the middle, into the penalty box, crosses coming in, and that's it. Crouch Gratch really does that job, and I thought he played well. I like one. I'm coming back just briefly there. I thought one player that impressed me on Stoke side was that fullback Bauer. What did you think of him, Richard? Bauer. I thought he was a good player.
Yeah. I agree with you, Jim. I think Bauer's just come in for them in the transfer market, and I think he did a good job. He's got a lot of pace. He showed on a clean pair of heels at one point.
Yeah, he did.
And I thought Juve, as much as he doesn't score many goals for Stoke, he won a lot of headers. Rice struggled a bit in the air, but Rice isn't as tall as Juve, so you can understand that. But I can't really fault Declan Rice. The job that he's doing at his age. The calm he has on his shoulders, he's fantastic. And
he is a fantastic
we'd be stupid if he doesn't become a club legend. If he ever leaves West Ham, we've made a massive mistake, because he's generally going to be world class for us.
Yeah, agreed.
I thought in the first half in particular, a couple of players I wanted to just say that stood out for West Ham. I know we've gone back slightly. Is Mark Noble. I thought he had a very, very good game, and do you know what? He must have really impressed Gareth Southgate, who was there tonight watching. And As if you go back to the beginning of the season, Richard, when myself and you were talking about Mark Noble, I mean, I feel a form of guilt even remotely being negative towards the guy, because every time he gets the ball, I feel really confident. I feel really confident that he's going to do something properly that's not negative, that's positive now. It's just like he's getting a resurgence in his career again. I know we're not doing well as a footballing side, but it's nice to see a young boy from Cannon Town.
Yeah.
A local boy from
yeah.
where you are,
yeah.
and playing in the side and really performing at the top of his level. But yeah, Peter Crouch. Let's discuss the goal, Richard. Shaqiri had a chance to hit it first time. He didn't. The ball went in a bit of all over the place. Then what happened next?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a ping pong in the box. We didn't really get a chance to clear our lines well enough, and they've swiveled, got a shot away. Hearts. I understand that he's parried the ball. It does happen, but you've just got to smother it. If you parry it, you've just got to go down on the ball. And he's trying to use his feet to kick it away, which was a very strange decision from him. And they've nicked one. And credit to Peter Crouch, 37 years old, still scoring goals.
He's now Stoke's all-time.
Hart's done himself no favours. Hart's done himself no favours with Gareth Southgate watching. That's his chance at the World Cup gone. He won't play a game.
Yeah,
we agreed that. We thought that as well. I'd agree with you, Richard. I mean, if he'd just gone to the ground and just smothered that ball, that would have been it. But just to spill it like that, I mean, and the trouble was you had somebody like Crouch who loves that type of. He's good in the air, but he's good at getting those goals on virtually 2 or 3 yards out.
Yeah, scraps. He's always in and around there because he's not got pace, so he's going to be in and around the goalkeeper, putting the pressure on. And it's so disappointing to think that when Gareth Southgate's there and he's watching two keepers trying to represent the country at the World Cup, and Joe Hart's come off 2 decent performances, and then he goes and does that, and it's just like a confirmation to go, do you know what, if he wants to do something in the World Cup, he can't afford for consistent mistakes, which is what's happening right now with Joe Hart. Anyway, it's taken 75 minutes. West Ham have made their first sub. Chicharito comes on. Everyone knows who watches this and watches us. They know I'm a massive fan of Chicharito. You're a massive fan of Chicharito. Just quickly, I mean, growing up as a West Ham fan, a very successful West Ham fan in terms of watching trophies. When you have a player of that ability who can put the ball in the back of the net, why do we not play him?
I don't know. I mean, I just can't get it myself. I mean, he reminds me of. I'm going back in time now, guys, but he's like a Jimmy Greaves, a player that was always in the box, in and around, able to score goals, dig them out, and he gets hardly any time to play.
Yes, well, we all know it's probably the David Moyes connection and the issue that him and Hernandez have, but we then move forward slightly and we bring on Mr. Andy Carroll, last gasp. Just back from injury. We didn't expect to see him the rest of the season. He's back. It was like it was written in the stars, Rich. Really?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Andy Carroll?
I love him and I hate him at the same time. It's so difficult because he is, on his day, he's unplayable. And I genuinely think there's no better player in the air, no better striker in the air in the Premier League than Andy Carroll. But his injury problems is what frustrates us season after season. But there's no doubt in my mind, when he's on the park, he makes a difference. And what a great finish! What
that was a wonderful goal.
To beat Butland with a volley like that from where he was world class. And I worry now for Hernandez because now that Carroll's back, I think he'll come straight back in, and Hernandez will be sitting on the bench again. So yeah, bittersweet moment to have him back, really, because I think that almost spells the end for Hernandez, especially if Moyes stays in charge next season.
Yeah, it's really, I don't know, it's because I'll tell you what, I think personally Chicharito and Carroll both made a difference today.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Both of them, Chicharito was throwing himself about. I mean, there's no questions tonight about Chicharito throwing himself about 100%, giving everything to West Ham. He did that 100%, and they made a difference. Him and Andy Carroll made a difference, and you can't even remotely deny that.
No.
But to take the ball like Andy Carroll did, you can't deny it. And I'm on the same wavelength as you, Richard. When it comes to Andy Carroll, he is completely unplayable when he's fit. He's not been fit enough to be in the West Ham side consistently. But there is a big, massive but to that. How many important goals has he scored for West Ham? And the quality of the kind of his play when he does play. Now, I'm not turning around to you and saying I love the guy and I want him to stay. But you know, we all know a fit Andy Carroll is unplayable. Yeah, he is. And it becomes a tough.
And the thing is, a lot of people just look at him sometimes, I think, as being just a guy that can head the ball. But you look at his goals that he scores on the ground. The one tonight, you know, absolutely. And he played actually a few times in that second half there, where he was playing the ball on the ground a lot more than he normally does, even though he's only on for that short period of time.
And if that ball hadn't hit his hand, Chicharito got the ball and hit the ball in the back of the net. Past Butland, and do you know what the funny thing is? Even though the referee blew the whistle, the team everyone played on to that. So that goal, if it had stood, would have been a genuine decent goal as well. But yeah, it leaves us. I don't know what 7. We're at 7 points. No, 7 points clear.
7 points,
7 points clear with 4. We've got 5 games to go. We've got Leicester, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and Everton to play. Stoke, would they walk out with a little bit of confidence tonight, Richard, or will they walk out with their heads held down?
I personally think it was a game that Stoke needed to win because coming into this game, 4 losses in a row, they really needed something to lift them, and I think this point doesn't do much, to be honest. For us, I think we're still in a very strong position, 7 points clear. Would have loved to have won the game because I think that would have pretty much been survival confirmed. But we haven't done that, which is upsetting. But at the same time, you know, there are teams in a worse position than us, and I think Stoke needed to win that game, so they'll be disappointed they didn't hold on. So it's a point game for us. And again, Carroll, he did against West Brom. He won us that game right at the death, and now he's got us another point. So although he's been injury prone, he's got us a couple of points.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I suppose that brings us to the end of our review of West Ham game against Stoke, 1-1 at the London Stadium. We went in there with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of positivity. Some of our guys on the preview predicted some crazy outcome, 5-0 scorelines coming from Luke here, there and everywhere. I predicted us actually to get beat, which wasn't, I know it's a very negative thing to say, but
Come on, Ant.
But do you know what? You know, it's the last 3 times I've predicted us to get beaten, we haven't been beaten. So I might be the whole kind of lucky charm that we need. So we'll see. We'll keep going with that. Final words, Dad, on the outcome of tonight.
Well, I think we were. Well, I think personally speaking, we were lucky to get a draw tonight. But we've got to take that point. At least we've come away with something.
Yeah. Over to you, Rich. Final words from you.
I'm more disappointed than anything because, as you said, there was a lot of expectation going into this game, especially after the Southampton performance and the Chelsea point. It's definitely 2 points dropped in my opinion, but at the same time, as Jim said, I think we were very lucky at the end of the day, and it could have easily been a defeat. Yeah. So I'll take it, and we'll march on and keep going. So
and I find
come on your hands.
My last couple of words on this one is, I mean, if you look at the statistics at the end of the game, and you'll see the possession that West Ham had probably throughout the 90 minutes. It's people might be thinking, well, how can you predict that Stoke could have won that game? But their chances were so much better chances compared to West Ham, and that's the part that I'm really fearful, and that's why I think we need to drastic changes in the summer. Should we? And I believe we probably. I mean, I don't want to say it, but hopefully we are safe with 5 games to go. You know, but there's still 5 games to go against tough teams. But we'll see what happens. We've got a point. That's better than a loss. We're 7 points clear. We need to take that. Anyway, that comes to the end of our review of the Stoke game. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel, put the thumbs up on the thing, comment below, Rich, I think you might be kicking about for a show this week or not. I'm not too sure if you're going to
Yeah.
do your worldwide
Yeah, I'll get a worldwide irons on
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
And just be prepared and keep on our channel. Make sure you look on our channel and see what's happening. Also, just quickly go over across to our website, ironsunited.wordpress.com. You'll see quite a lot of articles getting written from some West Ham fans. Stuff back in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, back in the history of West Ham. Some of the stuff current as well. So it's really good content we've got coming up. And we're just massively excited to bring you all this, all these videos we're doing on the Irons United channel, because we've got a big summer coming up, and next year, as long as West Ham are in the Premier League, we'll keep offering you the best, top-notch content. So anyway, he's been my dad, Jim Baker. I've been Anton. He's been Richard, all the way from Johannesburg in South Africa. Come on, you Irons.
On the
Come on,
Irons.
you Irons.